commission Dr. Rita Mosa, Transplant Center.
Dr. Rita Mosa Center for Transplant, that your people who will be attended through here may receive back the gift of life. Lord, we ask you and trust you, all the specialists and doctors and nurses who will be working in this center, that Lord, you help them to do the work that you commissioned them to do. You with their side, helping them to help your people receive back the gift of health and the gift.
Blessings with me.
So it's basically these are the campus to So from this point, this is where the main theater starts from. This is no. This item, please no. They have this. They are fresh. So this is it. So these are two adjacent theaters.
I am Dr. Julius Luyimbazi, Executive Director of Lubaga Hospital, and I'm a urologist and a transplant urologist in training. So today we are here to celebrate the World Organ Donation Day, which takes place every 13th of August. And as a hospital, as Lubaga Hospital, we have taken this opportunity to commission the Organ Transplant Center of Lubaga Hospital, which we have named Dr. Rita Mosa, after the great Dr. Rita Mosa, who was a physician and medical superintendent of this hospital. The organ transplant theaters we have commissioned were built using the same instruction that was stated in the organ transplant law that was assented to by the President in May this year. The specifications of that law are what we used and planned and constructed this transplant theater. The transplant theater is not going to start activities of transplant today. We have to await the Ministry of Health to appoint a council that is going to come and designate Lubaga Hospital Transplant Theater as a qualifying designated transplant center. It has cost us some money to construct, to buy the equipment, which is in the range of 1 billion shillings. We already have personnel that we have trained. Myself, I'm a urologist who is training in transplant. I trained in Turkey, but I'm still undergoing training. We have a transplant liver surgeon. We also have a physician in charge of kidney who is called a urologist, and nurses and others who are still in training. As soon as the Ministry of Health appoints a council to come to designate us and say you qualify, we shall start transplant activities, regulated by the transplant law that was signed by the President. A transplant costs about $17,000 to $30,000 US, depending where you go. We are hoping that by the transplant services coming home, it's going to be cheaper because there will be no travel, there will be no exorbitant professional fees by the surgeons, and it will be a regulated environment. The quality of services will be very high because we shall be working initially with our partner institutions in India and in Turkey for a while. Probably we could start with a few, like 5 in a month, and then we go up staging depending on the demand and the financial capabilities of our people. I cannot tell how much it will cost but it will be substantially cheaper than what you spend to go to India and spend there a month or a month and a half.
Commissioned this transplant center here at Lubaga Hospital, which will be used for organ and tissue transplant. At the beginning, they will start with kidney transplant, but with time, they will grow to other transplant of organ transplants. To do the organ transplant, a law has been put in place, which was signed by His Excellency the President on 15th March. And the Honorable Minister of Health designated 1st August as the commencement date for this law to be in effect. So that means from 1st August in this country, we can start doing organ transplant. But the law requires that we must have a council, an organ transplant council. While we have commissioned this center today, we have not accredited it because we don't have the power to accredit it. The council, which will be appointed by the minister, will come and inspect all the facilities and accredit it if it meets the requirements. But from what we have seen, of course we don't want to bias the council, they seem to have all the required facilities, because some of the most important facilities is you must have 2 theaters, one for the donor and one for the recipient. Then you must have a good ICU, intensive care unit, which you can see there. You have seen the 2 theaters. You have seen also the high dependency unit and the recovery unit. But they must also be having a very good laboratory, which I think you'll have to show the council. Then you also have to indicate the staff you have to be working in this facility, the specialists. I think you can see Michael here. He has told us he has done a lot of training. But of course, it's not only one staff. You must have a number of specialists, a team with good nursing care, with good intensivists. They'll have to indicate all those. The council will have to come with a checklist. But I'm confident.